In one of our earlier videos, we spoke about using Unity, the development tool, the 3D gaming development tool, together with the maps provided by Mapbox, the 3D map provider, to create a 3D running map that we can incorporate into our running videos. We will start our videos with a 3D map of our start point. Then at the end of the video, we will include a 3D map of the finishing point, and followed by some dots to show our coordinates of our running path. In this video, I will explain what I've discovered with Mapbox SDK inside Unity. It's still work in progress, but I think we have made pretty good progress, and we see the solution about how we're going to create this 3D video. Our objective today is to create a flying 3D video. Imagine a camera flying into the start point of our running, and we'll talk about the features, the tools in Unity that will make that possible. Let's start with this this map that we have been playing with in the earlier video. Notice that it looks a bit different. Some things I've chopped off, they're missing. That's because I set the clipping planes. Previously, it was set at a high value. Now I set it to 1. This means that it will clip all the buildings, all the items, all the polygons, all the satellite base layer at a distance of 1 unit. Anything further than that, it will clip. Anything less than 1 unit, it will show. That's why we are seeing things closer to the camera, and things further away, they'll disappear. Previously, it was quite high, meaning that we could see everything. Now it's smaller. We could see only part of the map, which is okay, because when we start this map, we will do a zoom in. Notice as I zoom in, you will see more and more buildings. That's because as we get closer, the buildings become closer, and the clipping distance will enable these buildings to appear as we zoom in. For this particular run at Queenstown MRT, we will start at this position here. It's going to be a bit tedious, so I still zoom in. For information to see this, I click on Map Camera. That will show the properties of the camera that we're zooming in. And also note that as we zoom in, this part here will change. It will tell us which location is our camera, and also tell us the rotation of the camera, what we're pointing at. This is useful. As we animate this flying sequence, we will need to change these numbers, position and rotation. And this is how we simulate a camera flying through. We need to change the XYZ position, the XYZ coordinates, as well as the XYZ rotation of the camera. Right, we are quite close. This is Queenstown MRT, the grey box. Our running point starts somewhere here. Therefore, we will be using this view. Like I said earlier, we will clip off everything that's too far away, everything beyond one unit. This looks quite okay. I don't really need to have too much detail. It will look quite confusing to our viewers. Therefore, the clipping distance of 1 seems okay. And so it's a neat way to reduce the amount of detail that appears in our map to make our maps clearer. Therefore, we will have a 3D fly-through of our camera, something like this with a bit of rotation, and then we will have a giant sphere of purple and pink that will drop down to indicate our starting point. Our maps are not 100% perfect, but I think it'll be okay for now. It gives you some context on where exactly you're running. Now let's talk about the panning of camera. How are we going to fly our camera through this path? Right now, I'm doing this manual adjustment. I'm manually moving the camera XYZ, rotating it XYZ. That's not going to work with our with our fly-through, we need to automate this. Now let me talk about automating this. The way to automate this is that we need to insert a Cinemachine camera. To do that, firstly, we need to install the Cinemachine package. Under Window, Package Manager, we need to search for Cinemachine under Unity Registry and install. Once the package is installed, we will be able to add a Cinemachine camera. Just go into Game Object, Cinemachine, Dolly Camera with Spline. This means that we are going to have a camera moving along a dolly track, or just a plain track, and it will follow a spline, which is a smooth kind of a path, and we will be able to change the points on that spline to affect the motion of our camera. Once we do that, it will appear as a Cinemachine camera in our project. It will also create a dolly spline, a sample spline for our camera to move through. And we can also create additional splines. This is what I did here, spline. We need to attach this Cinemachine camera to our project. Inside our project, there is a map camera that was already there. We need to make sure that Cinemachine brain here is checked. Once that's done, it will follow the dolly spline that we have created for our Cinemachine camera. Let's head back to our Cinemachine camera to see what else we change. Okay, we changed the tracking target. We want to make sure that when we are looking at this when we are zooming and we are moving around the camera, we want to make sure that we're looking at this particular target, which is our map. Whenever our object is turning, it will turn to face towards this map. Yeah, might not be quite correct, but let's do that for now. Right? At least our camera is now always facing the map. Now, apparently this tracking target is used by the rotation composer. By default, the tracking target is empty, and it will say that tracking target is not valid. Therefore, I had to change it. I had to set the tracking target to map, meaning that you always point to our map, our 3D map. Then the Cinemachine rotation composer apparently will keep rotating the camera so that it looks at our target, which is our map. Right. Now, we have to then we need to set the points of our spline. How is the camera going to move? Right now, our Cinemachine spline dolly is following a spline that has been initially created. This thing called dolly spline, right? If we go into the properties, right, the dolly spline here, we can see the points for the motion. Initially, there were only 2 points, 0, 0, 0. These are X, Y, and Z coordinates. Then the second point is 1, 0, 0. I added in another point called 2, 0, 0. We could change that. Maybe I could change it to 0, 0, 2. Okay. Let me change it to 1. Right. Now I'm changing the positions of the spline. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to visualize these 3 points. I'm probably not looking at the right perspective, but yeah. These are the 3 points that are on our spline. Our camera will now follow this spline when it renders the camera. Right. Then we created a animator. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what happens when you run this. The animator is still a bit mystery to me. I'm still learning, but let's see how it works. Yep, it's now working. You can see that it's now our camera is now flying up a bit too high. And I'm wondering why it disappeared. Let me just set this to 0.1. This is 1. Interesting. Yeah. So what I'm doing now is that I'm adjusting the spline that our camera is moving on. Okay, that's a bit better. Although I'm not sure why it disappears after a while. So you can see that the motion keeps repeating. Our camera keeps moving along this spline. It's shifting, you know, changing x coordinate from 0 to 1, then changing the y coordinate from 0 to 0.1, and z from 0 to 0. And then keeping z constant at 0.1. Yeah, this is good. We have done some kind of fly-through, but I need to explain the animator. How did we get this thing here? To do that, we need to go into window animation, animation. I added this thing here. So what happened was that this thing was initially blank, right? I added in then I added in the, okay, I'm trying to recall. No. Okay, no. Okay, what happened is that we are trying to animate. Now let me show you what we need to animate. Under the Dolly spline, okay, not on the Dolly spline, but maybe under the Cinemachine camera. I'm looking for this position value, not this screen position, but let me see. No. Okay, position here. This is the one. So it's following a track, the Dolly track, and the position is set to 0, right? If you set the position, so the 0 varies from 0 to 1. It's a real value, so it's 0.0 to 1.0. What happens is that we can set the position to 0 to represent the beginning of the line, and 1 to represent the end of the line. That means if we enter 0.5, it will correspond to halfway on our spline, right? And then I added animation for that. Let me try to pull out the animation for. Yeah, okay, there you go. Now, what I did was that, okay, yes, I have to click on Cinemachine camera. Then I had to use Cinemachine camera and set the okay, suppose I remove this, add a property, Cinemachine camera. Interesting. It's not under rotation spline dolly? Yeah, my mistake. It's under spline dolly. So under Cinemachine spline dolly, there is a position. Spline settings up position. I think that's the one I use. Okay. Okay. Let's just do a confirmation. If I run this, Okay, animation is disabled, which is correct. Now we will add in the animation. To do that, we will pull in this thing here. What I did was that the position is starting at 0. Then I will take a few frames and I will set it to 1. Remember that our this is the okay. This refers to the Cinemachine Spline Dolly. The position here. It's a value between 0 to 1. So therefore, we want to move our number from 0 up to 1. Notice that if I just drag the cursor, the number changes from 0 to 1, right? We are scaling up the position from 0 to 1, which means you start at the beginning of the spline, we end at the end of the spline, and then we jump back. Also notice that the camera appears. There you go. Right. So it's kind of working. It's actually showing our camera motion according to the spline. Right. Now that the animation, why is it disabled? Interesting. Okay. Let's see where this works. Click this. Yeah, good, it works. See, now the animation is working. Yeah, it's a bit glitchy. I'm not sure why sometimes it disappears, but you get the point. What we did was now was that we added, we went into, okay, we went into Window, Animation. We click on Cinemachine Camera. Then we selected plus add a Cinemachine Spline Dolly. Okay. Let's just remove this one out. What we added was Cinemachine Spline Dolly. Spline setting start position. Add. We set it initially to 0. Then after a certain keyframes, let's make it slower. Let's say making it 100 frames. Okay, at 100 frames, I'm going to set this to 1 because it's a value from 0 to 1. Yeah, now it's running at 100 frames from 0 to 1, and it's a lot slower. And let's play it back. Yeah, it's now running 100 frames, it's a lot slower. And then, yeah, just make sure that the animator is connected. I'm not sure why it's unchecked here, but okay. But no worries, this thing seems to be working. Therefore, we can just simply do a run. There you go. When we have a 100 frame animation, where our Mapbox, where our map is now following the path of our Bezier curve, our spline. Okay, good. Yeah. As you can see, we kind of roughly have the way to animate our fly-throughs to do the camera. We will have to record this. There's a screen recording function for Unity. So to record it, we need to use a Unity recorder package. It's under the package manager. We can just simply use that to click and record our images. And this will be automatically recorded into a MP4 file that will import into Premiere. There are still a few things we need to program. Like for example, we need to program the big sphere that represents our start point. We drag it into our scene, and then we need to program in all the points that will tell us where we have run on our running path. That will come in later. So this is a good start to our rendering of the running map for our running videos, and hopefully we'll be able to show at the start of the video our 3D map of a running point, with a camera fly through. And at the end of the video, we will show a path of our running journey in a 3D map also. Right. That's it for today's video. Please join me again in the next live stream. I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you.